Mhm. No, it's just something I noticed. You find it? I have a paper copy. if you want.
No, I can't find it. Thanks.
It's gonna walk.
Yeah, put it between us over here. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Good evening. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the municipal website. OPMA authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings through use of streaming services and other online meeting platforms. The Red Bank Council is meeting in person as well as providing an option for the public to participate via Zoom video meetings. Please note that the option to attend is being provided as a courtesy. Therefore, if Zoom becomes unavailable during the meeting and it cannot be quickly fixed, council will continue with the remainder of the meeting. For those joining us via Zoom, please raise your hand during designated times to be recognized for a comment. Whether you are appearing in person or via Zoom, you must provide your name to be recognized. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Oh, Kate's walking in right now, actually. Wait, wait 30 seconds.
Councilperson Bonatakis. Here. Councilperson Cassidy. Councilperson Casey Blackwood. Here. Councilperson Forrest.
Present.
Councilperson Janone.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano. Here. Mayor Portman.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We have a couple of proclamations, but we're going to save it to the very end. I think, John's really missing the council chambers. Let us start with a proclamation for John Ward, founder of Red Bank Green. On behalf of the Borough of Red Bank, we hereby recognize John Ward, founder of Red Bank Green, as he relinquishes the reins after almost 2 decades of dedicated service. After 43 years in newspaper, magazine, and online journalism, John Ward has decided to retire and focus on long-deferred creative projects. Throughout his career, he has been a stalwart of the community, providing valuable insight and information to the residents of Red Bank and beyond. Under his leadership, Red Bank Green has become a trusted source of news and information for the people of Red Bank. We are grateful for his tireless dedication and commitment to journalism over the years, and we wish him all the best in his future endeavors. We also extend our congratulations and best wishes to Brian Donahue and Kenny Katzgrau, who will now be carrying on the important work of Red Bank Green. We have no doubt that they will continue to uphold the high standards of excellence set by John Ward and build upon his legacy in the years to come. Now, therefore, I, William Portman, Mayor of the Borough of Red Bank, on behalf of the Borough Council, do hereby proclaim our appreciation to John Ward. Thank you for your service to the community and your contributions to the field of journalism. You will be missed, but your impact will continue to be felt for years to come.
We get to take pictures of you. Right, with Mr. Whereas. Senator Robin.
Thank you to the mayor and council for recognizing the importance of local journalism. in civic life. When I started Red Bank Green in 2006, the main objective was to try and capture as much of the vitality of Red Bank as possibly could in words and pictures. And over the 18 years, it turns out that I could say somewhat modestly that Red Bank Green has become part of that vitality. So, very, very pleased that that's turned out that way. And I'm particularly pleased that there's new leadership for Red Bank Green, so this thing can continue. I can retire and reduce Red Bank, still have access to journalism and other kinds of.
Awesome. Thank you, John. All right, next up, we have a proclamation for Library Card Sign-Up Month 2024. Here's all the whereases, John. Whereas libraries play a crucial role in the education and development of children, providing resources from early literacy programs to college and career preparation for high school students, fostering a lifelong love of reading and learning. And whereas libraries offer welcoming and inclusive spaces where people from all walks of life can connect, bridging cultural, ethnic, generational, and economic divides, and enriching the social fabric of their communities. And whereas libraries are dedicated to curating diverse programs and collections that reflect the unique needs of their communities, ensuring equitable access for everyone. And whereas libraries support individuals of all ages as they navigate life's challenges, offering access to vital research, information, and government services that enhance productivity and personal fulfillment. And whereas libraries strengthen the local economy by providing essential technology and training to job seekers, entrepreneurs, and students alike. And whereas during times of crisis, libraries and their staff serve as indispensable community resources, offering support both in person and virtually. And whereas libraries help households save money, conserve resources, and reduce waste by providing shared resources, contributing to a more sustainable community. And whereas a library card sparks creativity and empowers individuals to explore new passions and pursue lifelong learning. And whereas libraries uphold the principles of democracy by fostering civic engagement and ensuring the free exchange of information and ideas for all. And therefore, be resolved that I, William Portman, Mayor of Red Bank, hereby proclaim September as Library Card Sign-Up Month in Red Bank, New Jersey, and encourage all residents to sign up for a library card today. Anyone from the library board, what do you guys want to accept on behalf? Steve or? Jimmy, I got a photo, all right? Congratulations. Delaware institution.
Come visit us.
Yes,
We more than just books.
I was so,
We have a lot.
I was so happy to see that my library books got automatically renewed. I got an email. I was like, oh, that's great. I'd forgotten.
And no fines.
Yeah. And honestly, it's amazing what the library is offering now.
Mhm.
The services, tools for your house. I think I saw a karaoke machine there, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so I guess we don't, Lisa's not here. I guess we'll,
No,
Either-
it's gonna be for,
oh, next week? Okay, we'll have the Red Bank Housing Authority presentation next week from Director Lisa Richardson.
On the
Next
26th.
meeting.
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
Yeah, next meeting, sorry. I mean, she may come this week, but
Does that mean the resolution to accept it is also deferred?
no,
no.
They're not connected to each other.
Okay.
Okay, next up, it's public comment on agenda items only. This is only for agenda items.
Anyone has any comments? Yes.
Good evening. Cindy Burnham, 71 Wallace Street. I had a question about 24-203. And I'm wondering what's going on in Wallace Street parking lot? Why are we digging it all up?
One Street, well, to answer that one, maybe 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when we redid the White Suite lot, we paved over an easement for good housekeeping. And so that went back and forth for years with attorneys speaking, other attorneys speaking. It's their easement, it's proven in the deed, so.
I knew about that, but
Right.
it seems like you're digging up more. You're digging up closer. White.
I'm talking on the front. Oh,
It's restoring the easement that's.
yeah, I think it's all connected.
The settlement agreement.
Yeah, however the engineers
Easement
worked it
closer
out.
to the building.
It would be, but I guess the trucks still need a way to then be getting safely out of the parking lot.
They have an easement across the parking lot. The back of their store, there's an L-shaped easement that services like all those storefronts that would otherwise, the back of the stores would otherwise be isolated from White Street by our property. Have an it's like a T-shaped easement that they can come out the back and then they can, I assume I haven't been out there. They dug up the path that it's gonna be. That's the easement out to White Street.
Is the parklet on Mama Street ever gonna happen? Because that seems to be like, stop.
It's on the agenda item.
But
Yeah,
All on agenda.
that's right.
Yeah, quick answer here, is that is a River Center project. However,
During the project, Murphy's Law, we've come across a couple different issues that did stall the project.
lead service lines, which then the borough replaced to keep it moving. There's an underground storage tank
underneath the sidewalk.
needs to be remediated.
storage tank for what?
Old diesel or
Gas, fuel that the businesses used to utilize in that area. So
just a matter of due diligence at this point and having to remediate a couple issues.
Bob from River Center mentioned today that he hopes that project is well underway and completed by like the first week of October. So
I kind of would have thought that they would have looked into that stuff before you start digging up the road.
It happens all the time. And like in towns that are early 1900s, like in Allentown, we just did it on Church Street in Allentown. They found 2 oil tanks next to the old pizzeria. And no one knew they were there because they had redone the basement walls of the pizzeria underneath and redone the foundation. So you wouldn't see any pipes or anything. They were just left outside the building and then we took up the sidewalk and they're there. So it happens often in like early 1900s towns, which this town is.
Well, you would think though that they have those things that can see underground. You would just roll that around and see if there's a tank under there. Or if there were any lines, just saying. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments on agenda items only? Anyone online, Jim?
nobody with their hand raised.
No. Okay. Anyone? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public comment on agenda items only?
Make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from 8/22/2024?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to approve the executive session minutes from 8/22/24?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is an introduction for 2024-38, an ordinance adding new chapter 419 lead-based paint inspections to the borough's revised general ordinances to implement the inspection requirements of new state law regarding lead-based paints in residential properties. Can I have a motion to approve this ordinance on introduction?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Monotakis?
Yes.
Councilperson Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilperson Forrest?
Yes.
Councilperson Janone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Trigiano,
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes. Thank you. The public hearing on this ordinance will be on September 26th. Next up is an introduction for 2024-39, amending Chapter 64 Fire Department to revise the annual eligibility requirements for the borough's Length of Service Awards program for volunteer firefighters. Can I have a motion to approve this ordinance on introduction?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Bonnetakis?
Yes.
Councilperson Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilperson Forrest?
Yes.
Councilperson Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triviano?
Abstain.
Mayor Portman?
Yes. Of course, as an active firefighter, Deputy Mayor Triano and Councilman Cassidy, if he was here, would both be abstaining. Our resolutions are next. Does anyone see anything that needs to be pulled out and discussed separately, voted on separately, or can we do it on the consent agenda?
Yes, resolution 24-202. Can we pull that aside? I just have a couple of questions about that.
Sure. What do you want to?
I can ask the question.
Yeah, let's go ahead and ask them now.
Sure. In looking through the resolution, in section B1 under new activities, it states that the Red Bank Housing Authority is exploring redevelopment options for Evergreen Terrace and Montgomery Terrace.
Turn your microphone on. Sorry, Nancy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like stuff.
I'm like yapping away. Sorry about that. There's a reference here that the Red Bank Housing Authority is exploring redevelopment options for Evergreen Terrace, Montgomery Terrace, and procured physical analysis firm and financial analysis. But what was the firm? Do you know what who the firm was? Is that,
I actually do.
I thought that would be in there.
I believe it's NW Financial,
Okay.
which is Mike Hanley and his partner Dan, who I actually saw on Friday night. And he had actually went to a concert at PNC Bank and Mike hosted the tailgate. So I was there and he had mentioned this to me because we didn't know this over that this work was going on because they're a separate authority. But he said, "Hey, you're the borough attorney for Red Bank, right?" Mike told me. I said, "Yeah." And he said, "We've been working with the housing authority to put together financial plans. There's a lot of available aid to potentially redevelop properties, and that the housing authority has been exploring that. And I wanted, it's great that you're here. Can you connect me with the manager, Jim?" So I believe it's NW Financial, and I had actually intended on making that connection after the meeting, but it came up now.
Sure. Okay, I just wanted to understand because it just, it just said a real estate development firm. And I'm like, okay, anyone in particular? How does this work? Or, before we go ahead and vote on it, so.
All right,
Good question.
you good?
I'm good now.
All right, then, can I have a motion? Any others, by the way? Any other resolutions? People have questions about? No? Okay, so then, can I have a motion to approve resolution 24-156 through 24-207 on the consent agenda?
I'll make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Bonnetakis?
Yes.
Councilperson Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilperson Forrest,
Yes.
Councilperson Janone,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triviano,
Yes.
Mayor Portman.
Yes. Thank you. Next up is discussion and action for 3 street closures or barricades for Porch Fest. So Porch Fest would like to put up a barricade at the intersection of Linden and Hudson because it seems to get pretty crowded anyway of the last 2 Porch Fests. We're on Waverly where Zeke Dental is. They have a separate stage set up with a whole bunch of bands. So they want to just close Maple to Waverly.
And this was approved by traffic safety and seen by special events. We are just doing a second look.
Correct.
Okay. I'm not traffic safety, so if
Yes.
traffic safety says this is the best thing to do, then.
Yes. And then the other one was at River Road in Throckmorton, so cars aren't turning up onto Throckmorton.
I have a question. You
Yeah.
mean on Maple, close off Maple at the intersection of Waverly?
No, close off Waverly at the intersection of Maple. So in other
Yeah.
words, if you're coming down Maple, you can't take a turn onto Waverly.
Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah.
And really, I think they'll probably,
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a house there that would be blocked from getting out. In other words, once there's people in the street in that area,
Yeah, so will they close the, so they close just that one side?
and they'll put a barrier on the
They'll
other
put a
side.
barrier
too,
at the other end, like at the end of Z, the Z.
Yeah, or
properties.
maybe it's slightly past that, correct.
Okay,
And the same with the Throckmorton one. There'll be
yeah,
a barrier just a little bit up past.
right,
The church wants to participate in Porch Fest,
yeah,
but last year they were facing River Road and it felt
Okay.
unsafe
yeah,
because people are, so if they're that way, they're gonna stand, they have a side porch, so people will watch from Throckmorton
yes.
at that point. So I'm gonna abstain from voting on that because
There's no vote.
I mean, we don't have to just
No.
approve? Do we have to do an all in favor or no? No?
I'm not sure that's. what-
Greg, do we have to do it? No?
No.
Oh, okay, then,
Jim's in charge.
okay.
This is just transparency, so people know what's happening.
Okay. Yes, and Jen told me this morning that that was approved. Next up is, can I have a motion to open the floor for public comment?
Make such a motion,
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anyone have any public comments on anything on your mind? Questions? Anyone online, Jim?
You might tell Mr. Boynton, because he just walked in.
Right. Hey, Freddie, we just started the public comment. We're moving quickly. You got anything you want to add?
Yes.
Don't even sit, man.
Don't
Just
sit,
keep on
coming.
hobbling up. If I wasn't a nicer man, I would have waited till you sat and then told me what was going on.
Oh, I'll sit down, somebody gotta help me.
Right.
out. Is it all right if I stand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Freddie Boynton, P.O. Box 2074. Good evening, Mayor. Good afternoon. I want to thank all the councilmen and those that reached out to me when I got hurt and whatnot. I really appreciate it. Really, councilmen. The other thing is, I just want to say, I got hit on West Street in Monmouth. And my bike went over. I got pretty scarred up, fraction. My knee, I found out my knee is fractured. I know we can't put a stop sign there, but on River Street in Lake, just last week, I got pictures on my phone. My cousin truck got towed off on River Street in Lake. And I really think y'all councilmen need to really look in consideration for the four-way stop sign there to slow some of this traffic down. The cars are coming through here too fast at night. And they speed. And if you put a stop sign there, that will help slow that traffic down. Because they're gonna have to stop. And I don't wanna see no child go through what I'm going through. Feel that pavement on the road is not a safe place to be. I was just lucky that I didn't hit my head, have more injury. I was blessed. I just hope y'all really take it in consideration. Look at that intersection with a four-way stop sign. I think it's gonna really help. That's all I gotta say.
All right, thank you, Freddie. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Yeah, Jimmy.
Oh, how you doing, Freddie? I have the best with it. Jimmy Dark, 48 West Sunset Avenue. My neighbors had submitted thing for an event. My neighbors had submitted thing for an event, for the street be closed on West Sunset Avenue. And I told them she was unable to come. And I told her I would mention that to her for 40 West Sunset Avenue.
You talking about Randy and Megan?
Yes.
Yeah. They decided a little late. So the petition is in. I checked with Jen, who's the special events board, and they're gonna end up, once they review it all, they're gonna get it approved before the next meeting, just to make sure that it's not gonna be an issue.
They would notify them or how you do it?
So, yeah, we'll notify them. They'll let me know. They'll let them know, and we should be good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jimmy, that might have been your shortest public comment ever. No, no. Anyone else have any questions or comments? One online, okay, we'll go to that one.
Good evening, everyone. This is Nicole Tate, 153 Hudson Avenue. And I just wanted to follow up on I'm sorry if I'm not getting the name of it right, the pedestrian committee that was formed. I was just wondering like what the next steps are in terms of, is there a meeting on the calendar or anything like that? In particular, I was just raising it because it's back to school season. The roads are really busy, lots of kids going to and from school, and there's a ton of traffic, and I think it'd be a really good time to ramp up efforts. So I just love an update on that.
Yeah, since that time, Nicole, this is Jim Gant. But since that time, and the police department has instituted bike patrol back at Red Bank, which I believe is something that was, I would say, disbanded or for a lack of resources was stopped a decade ago.
Yes, I did see that. Thank you. I did see that. That was
Yeah,
great.
so that was definitely as a direct result of that pedestrian and biking safety meeting. We don't have an established committee, just to make that clarification, but we took a lot of the comments that night and we've met internally to decide what is feasible and what still needs to be vetted out a bit. In particular, I met with the engineers, Acting Chief Frazee, and Sergeant Cover out in front of, oh goodness, nonprofit on
Lunchbreak.
Lunchbreak, thank you. I was gonna say
You said nonprofit, like that was gonna narrow it down.
Good point, but you know what I was talking about.
Right.
But we met in front of lunch break because that is particularly an intersection that definitely needs some attention.
Yeah.
And, Gay Steinbreck actually was one of the ones that made a recommendation about having no right turns out of those intersections. So we were taking a really hard look at that, which we've determined is not so simple, but it's going to require a little bit more traffic survey. So I currently have T&M tasked with that so that we can make sure that we're spending the grant money really in the best way possible, instead of just slapping pedestrian paint down on the road, but actually taking a real hard look at what's going to be effective at that intersection in particular. So there's a number of different things that have gone in place. I know we just talked today about increasing some signage around town to keep reminding motorists, pedestrians, even those that bike, of what the laws are. We discussed it even this morning in a River Center breakfast with Acting Chief Frazee about the concerns of even pedestrians just coming off the sidewalks and bicyclists biking on the sidewalks, and trying to do more of an education push out there for these things. So we have a number of different things in place, but right now, I think particularly we're working with the engineers to see how we can best spend some of that, the grant money that we have.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Anyone else? Questions or comments? Anyone else online, Jim? No, okay. Can I have a motion to close the public comment?
Make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Christina, you got anything to add?
No report this evening.
All right, Nancy?
Yes, I would like to report that Red Bank received a silver and a gold status for a program called EVAL, which is the equivalent of LEED certification for EV charging in town. What it does is it makes Red Bank look better for grants associated with getting electric vehicles or building an electric vehicle infrastructure. The town also received, and Jim, you don't mind if I say this, a community energy planning grant for $10,000. And that's for technical assistance to help us with our planning of community energy and making it better, keeping us consistent with the goals that we had set in a resolution back in 23 to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Also with regard to River and Layton, I think one thing that's going to happen is that we need to take a look at the whole stretch of Layton, because if you put a stop sign there, will people, drivers speed up and then go to the next intersection and the next intersection as they're traversing the strip? That's just my personal comment. And the last thing is, back in 2019, there was a tactical urbanism demonstration with a report and at Dr. James Parker Boulevard and Bridge Avenue. And one of the recommendations was to have a no left turn coming from South Bridge Avenue off Newman Springs Road to, left turn onto Dr. James Parker Boulevard. So it's in that report. And if you need it, it's out there somewhere in the ether. Yeah, so that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
I just wanted to comment about Mr. Moore's retirement also. And that, not so much as a councilman, but as a longtime resident and attendee of these meetings, I just want to thank you for your many years of work, and also as part of the record of Red Bank, when you Google something and you want to look up something, very often it's the Red Bank Green story that comes up that you wrote 12 years ago or 13 years ago, and it's important to document our story. And I know that sometimes it's complicated and controversial reporting, and you did it well, and you're gutsy, occasional error, you would put a correction in. I mean, you can't have, we're all making mistakes sometimes, and I appreciate responsible journalism that follows up and, when things happen, fixes it. And I think it's made Red Bank a lot better. You've had an extraordinary impact. I know that you didn't do it for the money. So the passion and the excellence has been appreciated, and it's made us a better town. I also wanted to comment about Freddie's. I have concerns also about River and Layton, and I'm planning to go and kind of take a look there at times now the school's back open. And I've heard some very detailed accounts from some of the neighbors there about these particular stresses around school time, people rushing to school, leaving the school, whatever. But it also happens to be River is the access to the primary school down the hill there. It's a very busy intersection at certain times of day. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Laura?
I just wanted to report that the dog days was on Saturday and it was very well attended despite we thought the weather wasn't going to hold out. It did. And we made some money. I wanted to thank Mary Beth Glockham. She was there and has come up with an idea what we should do with some of the funds that we made to get a scanner for chips on dogs so that if we have dogs that get lost in town, the police department can automatically identify them. So I think we have enough money for that. So that worked out really well. And the library, we talked about the library sign up. I haven't had a meeting since the last one. So that's it for library. Thanks.
Thank you. Kate?
Thank you, Mayor. Had a wonderful time this morning with local businesses at the River Center Business Connectors breakfast. It was nice to see some new businesses, new faces. There was just great conversation. Acting Chief Frazee was the main guest, so a lot of businesses got to ask, their questions for him. And there was just a good reminder of events coming up, like the Oktoberfest is going to be Saturday, September 21st from 1 to 5 p.m. in the Plaza at Triumph. And our third annual, this is separate, but our third annual Hispanic Heritage Month event is this Sunday, 3 to 7 p.m. in Riverside Gardens Park. And I also have to echo my sentiments and thanks for Red Bank Green. Democracy dies without journalism. We are extremely aware of how fortunate we are to have local journalism to uphold that democracy and make sure those debates and those questions and everything that goes on in this town, just having somebody watching it. And I feel an immense level of gratitude for your service to democracy through journalism. Other places around us do not have that. And a lot gets lost in the sauce because of it. So I have immense gratitude for your service. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. That's all I got.
No, I echo, what everybody said.
Yeah, we are not always fortunate as council people, but very fortunate as a town to have the kind of coverage and communication. You really become a town crier. And how stoked are you that the guy nationally who wants to try and save independent small journalism lives like 3 doors down from you, right? And that one of the top reporters in the state lives on the other side. You know, it worked out beautifully. And I met you, I think I was canvassing one night and you were just walking the dog and it was dark. So of course I stopped to say hi to the dog and eventually got around to meeting you also. And so yeah, small town living. Want to thank Oscar and Parks and Rec for a really beautiful 9/11 ceremony yesterday. It was put together nice. The speakers were great. You know, just it was a beautiful moment. And as I said there, you know, we do all these amazing things like Dog Days and Oktoberfest, and they're important opportunities for us to gather as a community and remind us of the connection we have living in this small town. But it's also important to remember the not so good times and to mourn together. And that's why I was very happy with the turnout too at the 9/11 event. So thank you, Red Bank, for showing up. That's all I got. Jim, manager's report.
Yes, sir. You might have noticed the Marine Park parking lot is pretty much at completion. I believe there's some striping that has to be done. The trees are planted, some landscaping's in, all the curbing, obviously asphalt, the infrastructure underneath, EV charging infrastructure is also there as well. So it looks very good. I'm actually happy with the timeline that they were on. We were probably about, I would say, maybe 2 weeks behind the original schedule. And that was due to a lot of the material that we were waiting on for that to come in. So they have moved to the White Street lot easement replacement, which again was due to a settlement from a number of years ago. And now right after they're done there, they'll be going over to Marine Park for the green space where the current parking lot is, and we'll be taking that parking lot up and putting a large green space in there as was all part of the plan. We've met internally with our Marine Park Committee, which is Kate, Christina, and Ben. Ben is on the committee as well. So we've met with the engineers. We've started to go through phase 2 of this project, which is the actual park construction. We obviously recognize that the permitting of that park through CAFRA, DEP, through wetlands, there's a number of different things that we have to submit for. So we're looking to get on top of that right away. So we plan to do the park features all right away, and some of the water improvements may have to come at a later time, but we're looking to get started on that park as soon as possible. So we do have another follow-up meeting on September 30th with the committee. At that time, CME will have surveyed the whole park. So we will know exactly how many trees are there, the topography, where things best are suited. And then we even started taking a look at some of the aesthetics of some of the equipment that's going to be going in there. So we're starting to chip away at that in short order. The DPU project is also in the works, obviously in the initial phases. The next phase of that is for me to, they call it programming, right? When you start working with an architect and engineer as to actually what the programming of that space will be. So my next step is to meet with some of our non-managerial staff of DPU and our managerial staff of DPU to see what their needs are and make sure that we are addressing their needs for that improvement project. We've met with the engineers, Colliers Engineering and Neta Architects, and they're starting to put together some conceptual ideas as far as the programming goes before we see actually any conceptual ideas of what it's going to look like. I attended a manager's luncheon with other administrators around the area, basically in this vicinity, Fairhaven, Shrewsbury, Little Silver, Eatontown, and it was a great opportunity for us. It's something that we're gonna try and maybe do quarterly, but to start talking to each other and think about how we can really share services and, you know, bounce ideas off of one another. So that was really an effective meeting. Also went to the New Jersey Municipal Managers Association Conference in Princeton, which was great because one of the topics was redevelopment and how some highlights on towns, particularly in Princeton, where it worked very well, and the benefits of some of those redevelopment areas there. So it was great to connect with colleagues and meet some professionals in that space as well. Cedar Crossing has been in the news a little bit as far as some of the challenges that Cedar Crossing is facing, particularly with funding. So I'm happy to say that they've come to the borough too to help out and gain more of an understanding and see where we can be most effective in assisting them kind of work on setting them up better for the future. So this Friday, actually tomorrow morning, I have a meeting along with the Red Bank Housing Authority, Cedar Crossing, Division of Community Affairs, DCA, and HMFA, which is the actual financial source to a lot of those mortgages in Cedar Crossing, to see what the next steps are and to see how we can best assist Cedar Crossing to make it a truly affordable place. I mean, you've probably read some of the reports and the reporting on it that a lot of these deals have to come in as cash offers. It's very counterintuitive to those that are seeking affordable housing. So we need to figure out how to work around that and what we can put in place to potentially assist in that process. So, you know, I don't have all the answers now, but I hope to get more clarity tomorrow with that group. That's what I have there.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
I make such a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Lawyer, you're gonna say why, right?
Yes.
Lawyer,
Hey, lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to discuss the potential acquisition of public property, which is a valid reason to exclude the public. Conversation will take about 25 minutes and no action will be taken after the executive session. We will simply come out and adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll go to executive session.
Thank you.
Thank you.